And hello, everybody. We are live. I've got 2.5 days or so till I hit the road to head off to Israel for a couple weeks for my 25th anniversary. Looking forward to the trip. But before that, I've got a little mail and a few updates I want to give you and let you know what's coming up. So, hope everybody is doing really well on this wonderful Saturday. I actually head out to the airport early on Tuesday morning, and we'll be hopping on a plane out to New Jersey. And then from New Jersey, it's a 10.5-hour flight over to Tel Aviv, Israel. So it's going to be a long trip. On the clock, we actually arrive in Israel 24 hours after we left. Although there's actually a 7-hour time difference, so it's not quite that bad, but it's still a 17-hour trip, so it's going to be a long ways over there. But really excited about that. My wife and I are very excited about that. Brendan, I should come up with a different intro for these live streams. I need all sorts of new intros, because I got a couple new things I'm trying. One of which I'm actually going to bring up first. I hope a lot of you watched me watching the Wreck-It Ralph trailer. Blah, 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 blah. You have to forgive me for being tongue-tied. I literally just finished dinner. I got some really good feedback, so I'm actually in the process of trying to get 2 more of those kinds of videos done for you, since it seemed like people really enjoyed them. Looking at doing the Christopher Robin trailer, as well as the brand new live-action Dumbo. And if all goes well, those will actually post while I'm in Israel. I'm going to film one tonight and one tomorrow, and so they should be ready to go for you. I'll be doing them a little different. Actually, looking at the way copyright issues and everything work, if you just show the whole trailer like I did while I was reacting to it, it could potentially run into copyright issues. And so I will be actually breaking the trailer up and doing a lot more commentary and analysis as I talk about it. But still looking forward to that, so I hope people enjoy that. And good to see everybody here, because it looks like we got a pretty good crowd here. Yeah, I see Joseph and Starcoin Hero and Brendan's here and Rachel and Miranda and let's see who else we got. Kenny and Matt Brock, and so excited to see everybody. So here is what is on tap for the next couple weeks. On Tuesday, I actually have a walkthrough Disneyland Paris video that should be coming up. It's a little long, but that's because Disneyland Paris is a big park. And it's actually me just kind of walking from outside the park and then walking in and all the way around the park and letting you kind of see what it looks like and where things are and get a feel, hopefully, like you're kind of walking in the park with me. On Thursday will be my Confessions episode, and that one, here's where my mind is. My mind's so muddled with all sorts of stuff going on. It's actually answering a bunch of reader questions. That's what it was. If some of you saw the post that said, if you could ask a cast member anything, and I actually took several of the questions from that and answered them on there. There actually is even one where I kind of break down the veil a little bit more than I normally do. So that's coming up. Saturday will hopefully be the trailer reaction, probably for Christopher Robin. The Tuesday after that will be a walkthrough Walt Disney Studios. So same kind of thing, kind of taking you through the studios. Thursday, so a week from this Thursday, I've actually got scheduled a video that's going to talk about the 10 worst roller coasters I have ever been on. So if you ever wonder about, everybody talks about the best, well, these are going to be the worst ones. And so hopefully it'll be a little bit of fun. Spent quite a bit of time putting this video together, but it was a lot of fun to do. And then hopefully I'll have a trailer after that, and I've got a couple other videos in the works as well that will be coming up. Once I get back from Israel, I will actually get back home on the 1st of July, and we actually have family from California that's arriving on the 3rd of July. And so we'll be starting a bunch of stuff with them. And then if you remember my niece who visited last summer, she and her family are actually arriving on the 8th, so we're going to have a whole bunch of family here. And so you'll be seeing some of them pop up in videos and park tours and various things like that. So we'll be doing some live stuff. I'm actually hoping to do a couple live feeds in Israel, as well as probably a couple while the family's here, and all sorts of things coming up after that. So it's going to be chaotic, crazy, fun, all sorts of stuff. So, Matt Brock, what's my favorite kind of music? I honestly listen to just about everything. There's very little music I don't listen to, so I can't pick one. It's all sorts of stuff. In fact, when I drove my teenagers to summer camp last week, they thought it was pretty cool because I literally had this mix of all sorts of stuff. So, excuse me, man. I am kind of sniffling a little bit too. I had a bad cold for last week and a couple days, and so it was. So I'm still sniffling a little bit from that as well. Do want to jump into the mail as well. There's not a whole lot, but I do have a little bit of a stack, and I don't want it to sit here and wait for me while I'm in Israel. The fun thing is, it's actually all from the same person. It's all from Barry Hom, who's my friend from Florida, who actually was in the Florida Coaster Club with me. And so I think I've got it all organized by date. I better double check here, because he dates everything, so that way I can open it up in order. Okay, let's try that. Make sure I get it right here. And it feels like there's a bunch of brochures here, so there'll be some fun things. But yeah, definitely throw your questions at me as well. I would love to hear them. If you ask something on the Ask Me Anything, Ask a Cast Member Anything bit, I would love to hear those again too, if there's one I didn't answer. If it's one I answered, then I'll let you know, and that way you can know to watch the video. What do you need to have for working on the train at Silver Dollar City? Well, back when I worked there, you really need to have a really outgoing personality. We had some people that, oh yeah, I want to ride the train, and then as soon as you put them in front of people, they went, this is a stick up. You don't want that. It's terrible. It's boring. So you got to have an energetic, outgoing personality and a love for performing, and an ability to memorize a lot of lines, because some people think that it's all made up, and it's not. It's actually very scripted. So I would encourage you, Clayton, work other parts in the theme park first and see how those goes, and then maybe try for something on the train. Do I have a Disney movie I don't like? Not really. Black Cauldron maybe would be as close as I come. I watched that one, I was like, eh. And I know a lot of people love Nightmare Before Christmas. I don't dislike it, but it's eh for me. Meh. Okay, so first one from Barry. Hi, I'm in Orlando this Memorial Day weekend. Went to Universal Studios today in the late afternoon and early evening. I rode the new Fast and Furious ride, which I wish I had a chance to do that. I had a 30-minute wait. The virtual line and the single rider line were unavoidable, or unavailable. Ride wasn't terrible, but not overly spectacular either. I would say give it an okay. I ride it often if the wait isn't too long. And my phone rings. Hello, phone. Margaret, think that's for you. I think it's actually one of the people from my church, so we'll just have to deal with that later. In any case, there we go. Hand the phone to my wife. Live video, you never know what you're going to get. There's the brochure from Universal showing the new Fast and Furious ride. So very cool. Thank you so much for that, Barry. And like I said, everything here's from Barry, so this is cool. Let's see. How many miles does a cast member walk in a shift? From Gordon. It really depends upon what they're doing. If you've got somebody who's standing still in the kitchen or the cashier spot, not very much. If you are a roving photographer, a whole lot. It will greatly depend upon what job you do. So there is no set number or answer for that, Gordon. I'm sorry. I know not much help. It's like any other job. That's like asking, how far does an employee work? What kind of employee? So, let's see here. Ooh, and this one looks like it got a little bit wet. I'm going to get my glasses for this one. SirWillow. Hi, today I went to Universal for a half day. Went to Islands of Adventure for a few hours. I think the threat of rain scared the crowds away. Didn't have to wait longer than 20 minutes. It sprinkled a lot. There was a 30-minute downpour at around noon. Hid in the Gringotts ride until the rain stopped. It was a 20-minute wait for that ride. Tonight, Star Wars Galactic Nights at Disney's Hollywood Studios. Ooh. And there's a couple more Universal brochures. Yes, rain in Florida happens all the time. 3 to 4 o'clock, and you can pretty much guarantee it will happen at that point. Can we see Sandy? She's not anywhere near me, Matt. Sorry. Let's see. Yeah, colds are horrible this year from Kimberly Rachel's. Boyfriend are also sick with colds. My wife actually... I was the first one with the cold this time. Usually I'm the last one. My wife got it after me. She's still trying to fight it. And we're kind of going... she's one that when she's sick, she does not work, or she works constantly, and so she doesn't get better because she's constantly trying stuff. So my daughter and I are yelling at her to stay in bed, rest, and relax because we need her healthy for Israel. So, if I could, let's see, Lucky Titan asks, if I could create my own Disney-themed video game, what kind of game would I make? I have no idea, Lucky Titan. There's a good reason I don't do creative things like that, because I would just be stumped. I love role-playing games, and so it would probably be some sort of role-playing game, but I couldn't tell you what. Escape from Magic Kingdom. Yandir, yes, if you misbehave, you will get banned quickly, so behave this time. That's your only warning. Alright. David, when will I be back in Florida? I'm not exactly sure, to be honest. I'm almost positive I will be there next summer. End of July, first part of August. That is nearly a guarantee. As far as before that, there's possibilities, but our budget doesn't exactly have money for travel all the time. As crazy as it sounds with all these trips, the Walt Disney World trip was paid for by all of you guys, my viewers and patrons, which I was wonderful for. The France trip was paid for almost completely by another viewer and friend of mine. This trip to Israel is being paid for by my sister-in-law and her husband. So we're going to these trips, but we're really not paying for them. So, which is good because we don't have any money for that, especially not after all the medical stuff at the end of last year and the beginning of this one. So, James Kinglian, can we do a meet and greet at Silver Dollar City? Look for one probably end of July or first part of August, somewhere in there. I do actually hope to have one, but I don't know exactly when or what yet just because of schedules. But I do hope to have one. Let's see. Next one from Barry. Tonight I went to Star Wars Galactic Nights in Disney's Hollywood Studios. There's a panel for Galaxy's Edge, a meet with the guy who played Chewbacca, not Peter Mayhew, but the new one. It was fun, but Star Wars Weekends had a lot more offerings, and it was a hard-ticketed event. And it wasn't a hard-ticketed event. Still, having Star Wars music on Rock and Roller Coaster made it worth it. And seeing more stuff on Galaxy's Edge. And then he sent Hollywood Studios brochures. Yay! All sorts of stuff there. So, thank you again, Barry. That would have been cool to be able to go to the Galactic Nights at Hollywood Studios. Although I very much miss the Star Wars weekends that they used to have. Those were so cool. They really were. But have I ever seen the Lego Movie? Everything is awesome. Yes, I actually own it. So, let's see. Ever been to Atlanta from Hulk Shooter 32? Yes, I have. I actually been Six Flags Over Georgia back in 2004 when we moved down. So, driven through Atlanta a couple times. What am I most excited about seeing in Israel? Oh, goodness. A lot of what we're doing is we'll be walking through a lot of the ruins and archaeological sites. We'll be checking out the Dead Sea Scrolls at the Israeli Museum and a lot of things like that. It's hard for me to pick any one thing. Hang on just a second, guys. Let me fix my lighting. Oops. Really didn't mean to bang you there. Yeah. Hopefully that switch light will fix that flickering light in the background. I don't know about you, but that was starting to bother me. And yeah, the bang on the microphone, it's because I'm using this, because it's a little clearer. I've actually got my lapel mic packed already for the trip. So, hope it's working better than just using the regular sound. But as far as what am I most excited about seeing in Israel, that's really hard for me to pick because there's so much. My biggest worry with it is it's going to be hot. I actually saw somebody report the other day that Masada, where we're going to be going for one of our stops, was 106 degrees a few days ago. And I'm just like, oh, please don't let it be that hot when I'm there. Let it have a cool wave. So the heat is a little concern for me. But honestly, trying to pick any one thing. The funny thing with the Jordan River is we are making a stop there to do baptisms. And because I'm the lone pastor on the trip, guess who gets to dunk everybody? But it'll be fun. Let's see. Randy C. About sermons. Have I thought about posting them all on my second channel? I've actually got a few of them posted there, and I do have a couple others that I'm hoping to get uploaded to it. So yes, we are trying to work on getting more of those posted on the second channel. I have a much higher quality video that we actually shoot at the church than what you see on the Facebook page, so I am working on that. But thank you for mentioning it, Randy. Let's see. What's my favorite Disney pin is? David, my favorite Disney pins would probably be anything with Figment on them. I love Figment. Figment would probably be my favorite Disney character if I had to pick one. So, let's see. So Barry sends a card, says, a terrific dad like you deserves more than just one Father's Day card. Something scares me about this one. There you go. So this year you're getting them all. A mushy one, a poetic one, a funny one, and the best one for last. Well, that's kind of cute. So let's see. How many dads does it take to change a light bulb? Only one, but it takes him 3 hours to explain how he did it. Think of this. Apple card. Great big Father's Day hug. This is kind of cute. Okay, let's see. The poetic one. Roses are red. Granite is hard. It's Father's Day, so you're getting a card. Father's Day. Let's see. Gives me a chance to say some things I don't say often enough. I love you. You're my dad. Well, I'm not Barry's dad, but that is a cool card. Thank you so much for that, Barry. Let's see. Any tips for Atlanta? Not a clue. I drove through Hulk Shooters. Sorry. When I was there, it was 2004, and I drove through it. Ate at a waffle shop. Yes, waffle shop. And had breakfast there and went Six Flags Over Georgia, and then we continued driving on down to Florida. So, is it very competitive to get a job at Disney World? It's not really competitive, but you do need to have some basics down, like how to answer a question, look people in the eye. I actually have a whole video that says how I got my job at Disney. If you look for that, it will give you some great hints on how to get a job at Disney. You don't necessarily have to have experience unless you're trying to get a specialized job, but there are some things you definitely want to make sure you do, like dress appropriately and have a decent, attitude. And because if you show up wearing a sloppy T-shirt and you're going, well, I really don't care, you're not going to get the job. But it talks about that in that video, so that should help you out a whole lot, Peter. Lindsay says hi. Hi, Lindsay. Let's see. Where did he get the card? It's a Hallmark card. So, if that helps at all, I don't know. That's a really cool card, though. Let's see. And then he also sends, because he knows I'm a Star Wars nut, it is your destiny. And Happy Father's Day to a man who brings order to his corner of the galaxy. Truly, the Force is strong with you. That's a cool card. Where's Sandy? She is probably sleeping somewhere, Matt. My cats, they go where they want. The one thing you learn if you ever have a cat is the cat is the boss, not you. You just feed them and pet them when they want attention. Let's see. What am I most looking forward to seeing in Israel? Actually, I just answered that, BWI. It's tough. The history nut in me is just looking forward to the whole trip. Really. It's after the trip, I'll let you know what my favorite part was. So, hi, Lawrence. Let's see. Got the city pass. There's another card on the back of the card with multiple. Yeah, sort of. Yeah, it says I almost forgot the monkey card. Is it true that singing princesses? Okay. Piano Man actually has a good question there, and I don't want to talk necessarily specifically about princesses, but what I can tell you is that there is a difference between people who do meet and greets and people who perform in shows. The ones who perform in shows are part of a union called Equity, and it actually dictates their work schedules and hours, and they're really kind of separate. So they're on a completely different pay scale than the rest of the ones that you are meeting around. So as far as what they get paid, I don't know exactly or anything like that. I do know that as a photographer, I was not allowed to take pictures of them because of the union contract and stuff like that. So there are different pay tiers for people who perform in plays versus people who are out meeting with guests and stuff. And then they don't talk to the guests either most of the time. So I kind of hope that helps answer your question a little bit, Piano Man. Have I been on time travel recently? When was the last time I went on it? I was there with my daughter like 3 weeks ago, and it felt like about the same ride to me. So it will speed up a little bit as it gets broken in, but most people won't notice it. So unless they're really, really picky. Let's see. Did my daughter like American Girl dolls when she was a little kid? You know, she really didn't. She likes plushes, which she's still really into plush animals. Barbie some, but American Girl never caught her fancy. Don't know. Hoaxer, there's lots of places I'd love to go in New Mexico. Painted Desert out there was beautiful, but let's see. Ooh, there's all sorts of stuff. Now this is a bigger envelope for Barry. So, and I've got things falling out here, so I got to see if I can hold this together. Drew, can we do it on Monday? Give me just a second, I'll come back to that here. SirWillow, here are a few things I picked up for you while in Orlando from Barry. And he's got several things here. He's got brochures, and I'll try and fan these out. So there's a Disney Springs and a Blue Man Group. Universal with Harry Potter, Times and Info, SeaWorld. So I love all these brochures. These will go great. Ooh, Spanish. Or is that Portuguese? Portuguese. And then he's actually got a couple other things here too. Pins! Okay, this is really cool. Star Wars Galactic Night. That's a limited edition just for that event. So that is awesome. Oh, very cool. Thank you, Barry. And then Fast and Furious pin for the new ride at Universal. Whew. Oh, that's cool. I love stuff like that. Thank you, Barry. That's awesome. That is awesome. I love the brochure, but that is a sweet pin. It really is. And then the Fast and Furious is also very cool. Does it say opening on there? No, but that's sweet. So, thank you, Barry. Awesome. So Monday, Drew Palmquist will be at Silver Dollar City on Monday, and he's actually going to come visit me on Sunday. The poor crazy guy doesn't know what he's in for. Right now, with all my packing and everything else, I think I am on track to be at Silver Dollar City on Monday, at least for the morning and the first part of the afternoon. That is my plan. But you all know what they say about the best laid plans. So right now it's looking pretty good for me to be able to make it out there for the first half of the day. So if you are at Silver Dollar City this coming Monday, if you're there in the morning, I'm hoping to be able to be out there. I will make a post on my Facebook page that morning to let people know for sure if I'm going to be able to go or not. So if you're out there, check the Facebook page. I'll have the post on there by 9 o'clock local time. So that way you'll know for sure if I'm going to be able to go or not, and then that way you'll know whether to look for me. And if I do go, I'll try and post a meeting time and place too, if people would like to do that. So yes, if you're out there, if you're Silver Dollar City Monday, then hopefully we can do that. Thank you to those who keep saying have a happy Father's Day. I appreciate it. That's awesome. We're looking forward to it. We're going to have a good time. My kids are taking me out to lunch. I don't know where yet, so... will I ever do a meet and greet in New Mexico? I've got to actually get to New Mexico, Matt. And like I said, my budget just does not allow it right now. The money that we get from our tax returns is typically our vacation travel money, and this year most of it went to paying medical bills because of stuff last year. So, how hard was it for me to become a Disney photographer from Disney News Network? I was actually surprised at how easy it was. Again, the video I talk about how I got my job at Disney, we'll talk about how I got it. I responded to a newspaper ad at the time and went in, took some pictures, and interviewed just like any other job, and they hired me on the spot. So for me, it wasn't hard, but I had also done a good amount of photography work, not with an SLR camera, but with a little point and shoot. So I was able to show that I knew how to take some decent pictures, and I'd actually developed and printed pictures at a photo lab for a little while as well. So I had some photography experience. Many of the photographers that were there at the time were also trained photographers. That's not necessarily true now. I know a lot of people have been joining in PhotoPass that haven't had any photography experience at all. So I would say it's going to be, as much as anything, dependent upon your outgoingness and your willingness. So hope that answers that. Let's see. What's my nearest airport? Well, there's a bunch of them around, but there's all small. Shooter. Let's see. Did I know Silver Dollar City has an episode on Undercover Boss? From quite a while ago, Rebecca Bell. It was actually from the first season, and the guy that was the boss at the time, Joel Manby, he actually became the boss at SeaWorld Parks after that, and he just recently left there as well because they weren't doing real good under his management. But yes, I have seen the episode, and I actually have met one of the people who were in it. So, let's see. What was my first job? Here's a fun trivia thing for you. My very first job, my mother was a secretary at the local junior high school. And so my first job when I was 15 years old was I worked for 2 weeks with the custodial staff scraping lockers. That means peeling stickers off, scraping gum off of it, cleaning them, and I mean, we had about 1,000 lockers I cleaned over 2 weeks. Gross stuff. But that was my very first job. Rainbow Loomer, you need to check my FAQ. That answers that question in it. So, Gamma Guy, you always talk about loving your fellow cast members of Walt Disney World. Have you ever had to deal with difficult workers? I did do a video on bad cast members, so I do talk about some. There were a couple that were definitely not fun to work with, that were kind of a pain. The neat thing with being a photographer, though, is generally we were kind of independent. We would work with characters, but we'd be kind of on our own. We may have another photographer nearby, or if we were working in the View, which is where they sell them, we would have others around. So we knew people, we talked, but we didn't necessarily have to work side by side. So if there was somebody you didn't get along with, that's okay. They were over there and you were over here and you didn't have to deal with them. But we also, if we did get along, we played a lot. So I did have to deal with difficult workers, but not in the same way you necessarily would with a lot of other jobs. It was much more me and the guests versus me and other photographers. So, which I like that way. But yeah, there were a couple. I don't really want to talk too much about them specifically because if I went into details, they would probably be able to recognize who they are. And there were a couple things that I don't want to encourage other people to do that they did. And one of them was one guy was just never happy with anything. He just didn't like anything, and so I didn't hang around him. So, let's see here. Matt, check my FAQ. Your question's answered there. Does Disney ask for a photographic portfolio? No. I brought a small one in with me, but no, they don't ask for one. You don't have to have one. Let's see. BWI. Again, check my FAQ. There's a link to where I have been and the roller coasters and stuff I have been on. So anybody saying, have you been to? Check the FAQ. There's a link in there that will take you to a site that will actually list the parks and the roller coasters I've been on. And you can check it that way. It's a whole lot easier than me going through and asking 50 questions about have I been to. For both of the questions I see right offhand, have you been to? Yes, I've been to both. Did I do a video about my daily schedule at Disney from Rainbow Loomer? Actually, I did. I actually did two different kinds of videos. I did one, which was a day as a PhotoPass photographer, and then I did another one that's called a day as a magical memories photographer. And so you can look for both of those on my channel. Just go to the search and do a day in or a day as, and they should pop up if you search on my channel, and should be able to find them that way. So I have done a couple like that. Let's see. Oh my goodness, Rebecca. That's a terrible joke. Do you know why I can't go to Disney this year? Because I lost my keys. Big keys. Oh. So, how do you get to my FAQ? Go to my Facebook page. If you go to the SirWillow page on YouTube, there's a link right there. You can go to SirWillow.com. The FAQ is actually on that page as well. But if you go to Facebook and do a search for SirWillow, I have a whole fan page there, and the FAQ is right at the very top of it. So easy to find that way. Do you ever get any sort of discount or passes working for theme parks? Yes, Gamma Guy, you do. I do. Again, I have a couple videos that talk about the perks that you get. It changes from park to park as well as from how long you've been there. When I first started at Disney, I would get 20% off most of the time on merchandise purchases and some food locations. For holidays, that may change. When you got moved up at a different status, that percentage would change. Silver Dollar City, same kind of thing. There was a percent I would get sometimes, and it would, for holidays, it may change. So it varies. So typically, yes, you do. Sometimes it's for food. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's for some merchandise. Sometimes it's not. So it will vary from park to park and depending upon what you do. Do I play video games? Yes, although my time is very, very limited to play. Anybody who logs into my Discord channel has probably seen the two games I probably play the most currently, and that's Fallout 4 and Civ 5. So yes, older games. I have played Planet Coaster as well. Haven't been able to spend very much time doing that. I'd love to be able to play something new. Again, I love role-playing games, but who knows? My time for it's very limited. Although we did do one thing kind of unusual. We actually pulled out our old Xbox 360 and started playing Burnout and Battlefront 2, the original Battlefront 2, the good Battlefront 2, not the messed up EA version of it. So, let's see. Hulk Shooter, you're going to have a good time. So, Atlanta has a lot to do. I'm sure you have fun. Be sure to check out Six Flags Over Georgia. Neat park. Have I read any good books lately? I've actually been working my way through a couple different things. A couple history books that probably bore people. A genealogy book I recently did. And I've actually been reading a book called Short Stories from the White House, which is really neat. It's just short little snippets of history things. So, all sorts of stuff like that. I like history. And then I've actually been going back and reading the Peter Jackson books. The ones where he's talking about the Greek gods, and he's a son of Poseidon. So that's been kind of fun. So that's kind of what's going on. Excited about the next couple weeks. So I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time here. We're right about 30 minutes, so I'll keep an eye out for any other questions that may pop up. But like I said, right now it's just getting ready for the trip. I've got 2 more videos I still need to shoot because I really want to get those couple reaction videos done. So I have to get those done today and then tomorrow afternoon. So that way I'm free to go to Silver Dollar City on Monday. So fingers crossed we will get those finished up and ready for you. And almost ready to go otherwise. I'm about half packed, 2/3 packed. Shopping should all be done to get ready for the trip. And so it's going to be good. Again, there will be a couple videos from the trip at least. Keep an eye out for live streams. Supposedly the hotels I will be at will have good Wi-Fi. This is what I'm reading. And so optimistically I will be able to do a couple live streams. And I don't know when. I don't know what day. I don't know exactly where or what. But I am hoping to be able to pop up a couple surprise live streams while I'm in Israel. And then I'll be able to talk a little bit more about what we're doing. And so, hello to Ireland, Cara. How very cool. Sherry, yes, I have been to Colonial Williamsburg. Goodness, dozen years ago or so, something like that. But I have been there. Very cool place. What? Okay, those of you asking for animals, come here, Ginger. No, come here. Okay, Ginger's going to run away. So, this is called I can't keep myself from biting when I shouldn't bite, so I get the cone of shame. Yes. There you go, Seely. Say hi. She's almost healed up, so she gets to take it off here pretty quick, but... Huh. Okay. Are you going to come here, Ginger? My other dog's running away because she wants to go outside. So, any advice for Six Flags? Honestly, Gamma Guy, the last time I was at Six Flags Over Georgia was in 2004, which is 14 years ago. So any advice I can give you really doesn't apply anymore. It's changed a good bit since then. The Bald Knobbers actually is very neat story, Kimberly Rachel. There are a couple really good books about them, and my mind is blank on the names right now, but a couple great ones. If I could do a collab at any Disney park, who would it be and why? Oh, that could be fun. Brian Hull would be one of my favorites. I love Brian Hull's stuff. The guy is hilarious. Awesome guy, so I would love to be able to do one with him. I wouldn't mind doing one with the Trackers. It just hadn't worked out with them, but I would love to be able to meet them. There's a couple others as well that I would love to be able to meet, and you'll have to forgive me because my mind is just mush trying to get ready for the trip, and so totally blank. Oh, Randy C., I just noticed your comment. Your wife would like to know about the picture behind you. I'm guessing you mean that one. Is that a cabin or church? It's actually a church, and it is actually based on the Wilderness Church in Silver Dollar City. One of the guys who was out there doing crafts actually painted it. So, try and turn it a little bit. But there is a small steeple there, and if you do go to Silver Dollar City, the Wilderness Church looks very similar to that. Do I think Disney should have only kids with adults policy? They sort of do. It depends upon how old the kids are and how they're behaving. So, but yes, that's who I would do a collab with, Kara. So, and with that, folks, I hope you don't mind me skipping out. It's been 35 minutes. I love the questions. Hayes Family is one of the ones I was trying to think of. Thank you, Miranda. Yes. So Hayes Families would be a lot of fun. They're mostly at Disneyland, and I tend to go to Florida. But, yes, they would be very cool. So, but thank you so much. Like I said, look for the live streams from Israel. Look for everything coming up the next 2 weeks. And who knows what will happen after that, because July right now is still kind of in the air. And keep your eyes open, too. I might have an opportunity for Disney World in October, maybe. I don't know that it's going to happen. We would need an infusion of money and some other stuff to fall in place. But it would be cool. But who knows what's going to happen, because only God knows the future. So thank you so much for joining me. Hope you all have a wonderful weekend, and have a happy Father's Day. God bless. Yep, that's the one I want.